I just saw Wuthering Heights, and what the actual... Wuthering Heights, a new movie based on the novel of the same name written by Emily Bronte, follows the epically bizarre love story of Catherine, played by Barbie Quinn herself, Margot Robbie, and Heathcliff, not that weird cartoon cat, although the movie would be way better if it was, played by not Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games, Jacob Elordi, and their ill-fated forbidden love. Kind of. I saw this movie last night on a double date with my wife and Brighton and Jade, and we all came to the same conclusion. What the frick did we just watch? I will say before we get started, I will try to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible. However, this book came out like 800 years ago, so if you're worried about spoilers, you kind of missed the boat on that. All right, let's talk about the things I liked. It's a short list.
What? Oh, yes, fine.
The acting in this movie is actually pretty good. Margot Robbie and Anson Elford, or whatever his name is, everyone is constantly crying and yelling and having quiet moments and loud moments and all those types of things. It's definitely like an Oscar contender, right? This is a movie that's clearly being made to try to win Academy Awards.
Okay.
The acting is good, especially from the kid actors. You know how kid actors are. Usually they're,
We're on our way to Coruscant.
Coruscant?
Cut. Let's try it again.
yeah. But in this movie, they actually do a pretty excellent job. The kid from Adolescence is really good, and this girl that plays young Margot Robbie does a really impressive job for her age. The cinematography is fabulous. The set design, the costumes, everything in this movie that doesn't necessarily have to do with the story is really good. It feels like old school movie making. You can tell it's on a hand-built set with this beautiful colored lighting. There's some really cool stuff in this movie visually, and I like the part where she's laying on this rock, and then I like the part where he's on the horse. That's about it. Okay, now to the things that,
Shockingly dull. She's practically a simpleton.
Just to be clear, I know that a lot of people are giving this movie glowing reviews, and I don't know if they're paid by the studio or if they got some kind of brand deal. This movie is very bizarre. And I don't just mean like, oh, it's weird, you know. It's almost like writer-director Emerald Fennell, yes, that is her real name, sat down and just like storyboarded a bunch of images and said, this'll look cool, this'll look cool, this'll look even cooler. Also, let's put a snail on the window and zoom in so close that it looks like disgusting bodily fluids are running down the window.
Gross.
They're lovers that are destined to be together but can't be because of movie? And then she doesn't love him, but then she does love him, but then she wants to marry this guy, but then this guy, but somehow Heathcliff is like rich. You didn't read the book before you watched the movie? Well, sucks to be you, because you're gonna have no freaking clue what is going on. It's all about Margot Robbie's Catherine, and she is divided between wanting to marry for money and wanting to marry for love. The trailer says that this story is the greatest love story ever told, or something to that effect. How can you say that when Romeo and Juliet is on the table, bro? Romeo and Juliet in the movie, dude. A character named Isabella, who is a wacky character. I don't know if she's like supposed to be like mentally ill or like crazy or like what her deal is. There is a scene where Isabella tells the entire story of Romeo and Juliet, and it's so clear that this story is inspired by Romeo and Juliet, but this is the greatest. Although I guess it's not as good of a tagline if it says, the greatest rip-off love story ever told. Let's briefly talk about the characters. Though Margot Robbie does the absolute best that she can with the material she's given, I think that her character is just not that well written. She's completely unlikable. She tells Heathcliff multiple times in the movie that she doesn't want to be with him, whether it's because she's betraying her husband or because she feels like she wants to marry into status. But then she's like depressed that Heathcliff is moving on with his life, and she's mad at him for not coming back to her. You told him not to come back, and then you're mad at him because he didn't come back because he did what you wanted? I feel like I'm gonna have a frickin' aneurysm. Frick! Heathcliff, I love you. I love you too. Let me use my disgusting tongue and lick everything around you. Wait, before you do that, I broke a nail. What? I can't bear to be seen by you. You need to leave. Go away. You really just want me to leave over that? Yes! Okay. No, Heathcliff, what are you 2.5 freaking hours. So every character in the movie is seemingly stuck wherever they're at for 2.5 hours because of Catherine's choices and the fact that she just loves to emotionally manipulate people. What is this character? Perpetual jerk? In traditional movies, usually there's a protagonist, right? Who is the nice person, down on their luck, who's like the underdog. But then there's the antagonist who's either evil for evil's sake or just wants to stop the protagonist from doing something, right? That's writing 101. Now, I challenge anyone who's seen this movie, write in the comments below this video, what is Catherine? Is she the protagonist or is she the antagonist?
It's all a little weird and disconcerting and creepy.
When I think about Romeo and Juliet, yes, it has a tragic ending, but it also has a really sweet love story between two teenagers who have feuding families. So they can't be together because they don't want to get kicked out of their family. Simple motivation. Everything they do comes out of that motivation, and it makes sense. Kathy wants to be rich, but she also wants to be loved, and even when she achieves both, it's still not enough for her. But then she's also mean to this Asian girl for no reason at all. And then she's mean to the doll girl for no reason at all. And then she's mean to Heathcliff, the guy she's cheating with, for no reason at all. And then she's mean to her husband for no reason at all.
I have not broken your heart. You have broken it. And in breaking it, you've broken mine.
Before we talk about Heathcliff, let's talk about the best characters in the movie, everyone who's not a main character. Catherine's father is an abusive drunk who's like the Lord of Wuthering Heights, which is the name of their estate that they live in. But the character of Nellie is actually pretty awesome, and she's a very similar and mirrored character to Isabella, but where Isabella is kind of quirky and bubbly and I guess has an entire room made of ribbons. She's just kind of a mean character that seems to hate everybody, and it makes sense. I guess she's had a rough life, but she's also kind of scheming and conniving and always trying to get back at Catherine for things that Catherine does to her, and rightfully so. Honestly, Catherine sucks in this movie. Literally mean to every single other character, including her rich husband, Edgar, who has taken care of her, brought her into his house. She was destitute. Her father gambled away all their money, and then she just spits in his face because where Heathcliff at? And that brings us to who I believe is going to be a frontrunner for stupidest movie character of 2026, Heathcliff. Heathcliff comes from an abusive background, right? He's a kid that was like a slave to a guy, and then he was taken in by Catherine's father, who essentially gave him to Catherine as a pet. I think the biggest problem with Heathcliff's character is that he just isn't smart. He's dirt poor, right? He's like her slave. Then he goes somewhere and makes money? He just theoretically made a bunch of money somewhere at some point. Why wouldn't you just leave your husband? That would have made for a much more interesting movie, but no. Everybody in the movie is just stupid. I want to be with you, but you're a stable boy, so I'm gonna marry this guy instead because I want to be rich and have a status. Oh, you're rich now? Well, I'm not gonna leave my husband and go with you so I can still be rich and have a lifestyle and live in my old house, which I somehow have some kind of affection for, even though it's completely disgusting. I'm just gonna stay here with my husband I don't like, who's actually a nice guy in the movie. He's like the nicest, best character. I wish the movie was about Edgar, but I'm sure everybody's gonna sound off in the comments. Edgar's horrible in the book. Catherine's horrible in the movie. No, just kidding. I'm having a crisis of conscience. No, I want you again. No, I don't. No, I do. No, I don't. No, I do. Check out this room that is modeled after my skin. What? That's a thing. Now, I understand the symbolism, right? Catherine is trapped within herself.
My character's bedroom, Kathy's bedroom, the skin room, which is going to sound really weird, but it's her skin.
I have smell-o-vision, scratch and sniff, textures, moisture, that all the senses are going to get wound up in this film.
The skin room.
No! That's serial killer behavior, dude. Texas Chainsaw Massacre crap right there. What is that? Everything is so overtly sexual for no reason. The movie starts on a black screen where a man is breathing so heavily, you think that something spicy is happening, but it turns out he's just being hanged, which is a theme in this movie, but it never pays off. No main characters are hung. It literally has nothing to do with the story. But even during the hanging, a bunch of extras point out that the guy that's being hanged is hung. And yes, I mean, You're making an execution sexual. A sexecution. This is a very weird thing to say, but I hope I never see Jacob Elordi's tongue ever again. Also, there's this one scene where Margot Robbie comes in this dress that looks like it's from the 80s because it's like this iridescent, shiny fabric that keeps changing colors, and I literally leaned over to my wife and said, "They didn't have this kind of fabric in the 1800s? What the frick?" Also, the dog scene. Admittedly, it is a very memeable moment, but it feels like it's comedic on purpose, whereas the rest of the movie is very memeable because it's just bad. There were scenes where we would just look at each other and then start laughing because they're so weird. For example, there is a long shot, and we're talking it's probably 15 to 20 seconds long. Margot Robbie sticks her entire index finger into the fish's mouth and like swirls it around. Hilarious, dude. It's a freaking meme. Oh, our movie will have longevity or be like the Minecraft movie. Half the movie's gonna turn into a meme and then hundreds of millions of people will go see it. No, dude. When this movie comes out on streaming or whatever, we need to meme the crap out of this movie. Hey, Emerald, did you ever think people would be laughing at the end?
Sculptures made out of spoons.
What? I am genuinely interested in your guys' opinion because I don't know what I think of this movie. I kind of think it sucked. But every review I'm reading is glowing, saying that it's the greatest love movie ever made. And in a lot of ways, it reminded me of Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Every frame looks like a piece of art. But where these two movies differ, I think, is in the actual storytelling. Nosferatu is a movie about a vampire that comes to England and then wreaks havoc. We got it. Wuthering Heights is about a disgusting, manipulating lady who is so miserable with her life that she has to make everyone else's lives miserable. That's entertainment. If you like videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe, hit that hype button so that we can invite more friends to the Cool Kids table. And frankly, I really enjoy making movie reviews like this. So if you like to hear me rant because you're bored or you're on your lunch break, let me know that too. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
It's all a little weird and disconcerting and creepy